Good evening and welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the think show that proves without a shadow of a doubt the so-called African American, black, Negro, colored didn't find their way to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the indigenous one. And when I don't know about certain things, I normally leave it up to the guest who's talking about it because I don't think just one person can know everything. It's too much. And being that all of us are here to help steer the planet to where it needs to be, we all have our role to play. Hey, Albertha Washington. So you'll notice that names like Albertha, Wilma, Vivian, Betty, Lillian, names like that, they're not in the mix no more. You know, that's another thing to look for when you're studying your family. The names that were given, were those names passed down to some of your cousins? Were those names passed down to you? Are those names a combination of names? It could be if your parents are from two different places, or your people had two different industries they worked in, because that's another name for the what you call Indians. They were industrious. They were independent. Those names, IND, that's spelled like that, those were describing your people. Just like terms you would, letters or words that would be used to make up other people around the world. It was the things they did. And with the indigenous people there, they were industrious. They wasn't into that slave stuff. Everybody where they were had a job to do. And that's what they did until somebody came along with a better plan. So, what we're going to talk about tonight is Jubilee. What does Jubilee mean to the American Indian? I don't know about it. I just heard about a sister called the other day and said, "Why don't you guys do a program on Jubilee?" And Lisa said, "Oh, I know what that is." And so we decided to do it. I'm waiting on Lisa to get here to explain this to us. And if any of you guys know, I'm going to go ahead and put well, you guys can chat with us. It is now in the comment section. So if you guys have something to say, make sure it's relevant to what we're talking about. Make sure it's relevant to what we're trying to do. And all we doing here in that African Americans ain't Africans. All we doing. I know some people want to argue, fuss. They think they know what we see happening with the so-called indigenous people in America, the blacks, the African Americans, the coloreds. Those people, from what it looks like, seem to be trying to be removed from the planet. Most of them don't even care. Most of them can't see what's going on. And most don't care. They just want to eat and get paid. That's the African American. So, what we're doing, being that I come from a family that most of them fell into the spell, I'm just pulling their coattails saying, "Yo, dude, we're doing this all wrong. We need to do the way things are going to be prosperous and better for us." Most African Americans don't see it that way. Most African Americans, I'm willing to wager 70%. That may be too low. Don't care what happens. Their purpose of life, their children don't mean nothing. The only thing that matters is that TV and doing what boss say. That's all African American is about. I got $5 that I can prove is like that. So anybody want to lose that $5, step on up. All species have a have a purpose on this planet. You are here to do something. Just because you don't know what it is ain't my fault. All I'm saying is that if you want to find out, ask the people who know you best. And the people that know you best is your family. So it's imperative for all of us to get with the person in your family. Who's the person in your family that don't even come near the family no more? Who is that person? Find them and start asking them questions. Find the historian in the family. Find the person who's always trying to tell them and keep the family together. Find that person. Get some information from them. Ask questions. Not these fringe groups you all want to be up under. Your family. These groups that we try to be in and we want to be a part of, and you don't know nobody in the group, but y'all just know each other by these crazy names we come up with. Check these people out. Find your folks, man. You'd be surprised of what you come from. Sharing Jubilee with us this evening is Lisa Cypress of the Accomacs. If you guys ever get a chance to get up to Accomac country, you're going to see stuff that you never saw before. You got places in this country that are off the hook, and we don't see them because we're locked into these cities. So joining us tonight is Miss Lisa Cypress. Hi, Lisa.
Hello, Halito.
How are you?
Masayo. Uh, I'm good. I'm good. I'm getting my voice is coming back slowly, and I'm good. And I got to see some deer in my neighbor's yard, the one that hacked down all her trees. You know, nature has a way of making things work, right? So
Uh-huh.
she has all this overgrowth because she hacked down all her trees in her yard. And I guess these two sisters was like, "Look, girl, I got a good new place for us to go out to eat." And they were like, "Yeah, let me show you this spot." In her yard. They were in her yard on that hill where she knocked down all those trees, and they were just tearing it up, just having a good old meal.
Oh, okay. The
Yeah, it was
deal.
really cute.
Well, cool.
Really
Well,
cute.
I told the group already that the program is about Jubilee, and I know,
Yes.
and so you guys see, she knows about it. I don't. So I'm gonna go ahead and let Lisa tell you about Jubilee and how it affects your life.
First, let's get y'all in the mood. Let's get y'all started because Jubilee is about having that right vibration. It's very important, essential that we maintain it all the time. We got to make sure that we are in a celebratory mood at all times. Of all people, we can do this. We can make everything a party. If your boss is talking crazy, if your family's acting lazy, you can still turn it your way because that's what we do. And it's time for us to start using the powers that we have. We got to get it going. Got to start working on our magic, okay? So, this is the thing. I was starting this whole thing. I had some slides and stuff, and it all disappeared because I guess when I went to look at the deer, I didn't realize my battery had died. Usually it saves stuff, even if it, but whatever. There's something about this information that is very essential that you guys should have. So that's why I think I got them glitches going on, but that's okay because we can just talk it out. So basically, it's really important that you get with your get your vibrations right, get with the music that you like, get yourself into a right kind of frame of mind, and always make sure that you maintain control over this because you see we let things get in our way. We listen to different things that are just like negative. A lot of things that's going on gets you down. Like just before this broadcast, Keisha Lance Bottoms or whatever her name is, she sent a tweet. And this is funny. She must have been somebody on my tweet thing for all this time. But this is the first tweet I got from her. And it was about the fact that Georgia somehow voted to suppress any racial education, anything racial in the schools. And I was like, what? So, and then this was my response to her. So now why are you telling us? And I said, great job acting like you care, but actually supporting the oppression of our of our true history. Because seriously, if you knew this thing was cooking, why did I not get a tweet when that thing was happening? How are you gonna put a tweet out? You're so devastated. Heifer, you should have been talked about this stuff. I'm not a politician. I don't know what they're doing. So this is the thing. So these things, not to talk about something that's negative, but see, this is the thing. You got to turn it around to a positive. So they're desperate when they are trying to suppress our information and us correcting our history by any means necessary. They don't want you to know all the evil, wicked things that they are constantly doing. Because when you start putting together what they did, you'll know that they keep doing it over and over again, and they're doing it right now. Okay. So that's why they're doing it. But it's a positive thing, because guess what? They know what time it is. They know it's the time of Jubilee. And they know it's time for us to be manifesting and getting that return. It's a time of restoration. That's what Jubilee's about. But in my research of it, it's even bigger than that. It's bigger than Jubilee. It's bigger than the Bible. Because everybody don't believe in the Bible, which is fine and cool. And whatever you believe in, you don't believe in nothing. I mean, you got to believe in something. If you'll believe in yourself at the very least, right? So we believe in ourselves. We believe in the gods and us, whatever. But yeah, exactly. But the thing is, whatever your thing is, it's definitely justified by the Jubilee. What I did find out that was weird. Okay, Jubilee is in Leviticus, and I will tell you that. And the Jubilee information is in Leviticus and 25, and it talks about and it's an ancient Syrian thing that they would restore land, and they would restore. You wouldn't have to. Your debt would be absolved. It's actually supposed to be a Hebrew practice. They say Jewish, but Jewish is new. If Jews say it, they don't know. They got a whole new thing. That's a whole new thing. That has nothing to do with ancient Hebrew stuff. But I don't want to get into a deep religious thing. I just want to talk about Jubilee. Jubilee is about restoration. And actually, it started in September, and it's going to go all the way to this year, September. Started last September, goes all the way to September of this year. And this is the time of Jubilee. And it's an anniversary of like 7 years. Some people say 50 years, 100 years, what have you. But it's a time when your restoration of your land is back. And according to the Hebrew, tradition or history, it's supposed to be that people are on their homelands. They will get their land restored. Now, see, it's so funny because there's a quote I had posted up for y'all to see that they were talking about. So when is the Jubilee? Well, the Jews in America stopped practicing it. Why? Because they ain't them. That's one reason, is because they ain't them. And the other reason is that for it to actually be effective for the so-called Drew people, the Hebrew people, but they're not Hebrew, they're Jewish, but that's a whole nother story. But anyway, for the so-called Jew that's pretending to be Hebrewic, or one of the 12 tribes of Israel, let's say that. Let me put it like that. The Hebrew Jew pretends to be one of the 12 tribes in Israel, or says that they are, or whatever. So that they are, whether they are and whether they aren't, and people do say they are, or whatever, I don't know. But anyway, basically, they have to be in their homeland. So if that's the case, if they claim Israel as their homeland, all them Jews need to leave, and they should be in Israel. And they say, and so this rabbi said on the website, oh well, perhaps someday when we get to our, back to our homeland, then we'll go back to practicing, Jubilee. And I'm like, oh, y'all ain't going nowhere. Is nothing stopping you? that's the weird thing. I'm like, yo, there's nothing stopping them from going back. Like, you can go. Like, you're not in a concentration camp. You're not being held hostage here. You can go back to Israel. There's nothing to stop y'all from actually making this, happen. So it's like really, anyway. So I thought that was very weird. But then the other thing is, it's really a financial, the debt aspect, the fact that some countries in the past and some countries in recent and some small ways have actually practiced it where they actually forgive the debt of their citizens. And they talked about, one article talked about how could that really present itself as a something in the United States. Like, how could you see that in effect? Like, how could that work? Well, they said stimulus can work, or you could actually forgive the debt, but they doubt whether that would happen. But that would be a righteous thing to do. But anyway, but like they said that they would forgive the mortgages and stuff like that in some places and all that kind of stuff. But really, it's supposed to be a restoration of your land, restoration of your favor, restoration of your life, manifestation of all the good things that you were denied. And so, what are we doing? So they know this, and maybe we don't believe it, but a lot of the people that are in power, believe it or not, they do believe it. So with them believing this stuff, it's really kind of, that's why they want to keep us all depressed, oppressed, distracted. Because if we were actually working to manifest this Jubilee, I mean, that would be powerful. Like, if just in any good number, just like, even if just like a few of us as the indigenous people that we are, if we was actually vibrating and manifesting this Jubilee time as we should, that would be amazing. Like, and it would be extremely powerful. It is a reset time. Yes, that is right. It's definitely a time of reset. And the thing about it is, it was so funny because I was doing some cleaning, like some spring cleaning, and I happened to run across this little folder with some papers in it. I guess I was, I know I was going through something because it was around the time my dad died, and I was going to share this with you, but I'll still try to kind of share this with you, via, like, I guess like this. But anyway, I had this little piece of paper. It's hard for you to see it, but I was gonna post it up. But it was this little piece of paper, and I'll read it to you. And I said, in 1979, I was 15. I guess I was looking at the video of my mom or something, and my mom was 47, and she died of a heart attack at the age of 68 in 2002. And then I said, I was a mother at that time. I was in my 30s, a mother of two with two daughters. And today is 2017. I am 53 years old. I have a 29-year-old and a 25-year-old and 2.7 grandsons. I am broke. That's what I wrote. I am broke, but on the verge of wealth. Now, I read this to you, it's really personal, and I read this to you because it's so funny. Because at that time, that's when I was like, you know what? I'm gonna, the fact that I said I'm on the verge of wealth, that's when I was actually thinking. I was getting my mind right. I was actually getting my mind to manifest it. And it's really funny because I've been a nurse for so forever. And people are like, oh, you're a nurse. I've been a nurse forever. But I've always been broke. Like, it seems like I worked my butt off and I had nothing. It was crazy. And I can't even explain it, but that's just the way it was. And but as of lately, I work less in essence. I work when it, money just seems to come. Money comes. I am not, I manifest wealth. I see abundance. I feel abundance. I just see tons of money coming my way. And of course, now I'm involved in a major lawsuit, which abundance is coming even more than I ever imagined, because in 2017, I never thought I'd be sitting at this time working on a major lawsuit against PNC and um, a whole county. I didn't think I would be doing that. There's no way. I didn't think I would be in a position to be able to do it. I didn't know if I'd be in a position to even feel comfortable financially to do to do the things that I'm doing now. But that is, I don't. It's just the ancestors. It's just God. It's just belief in yourself, and belief that money ain't a thing, and belief and that you can actually be wealth. You can generate it. You can generate money. You don't have to be broke. This I said I was broke, but I said that I was on the verge of wealth. My mind was turning that corner. My mind was turning that corner. And actually, you don't ever have to be broke, not even temporary. You don't even have to be temporary broke, because this is the thing. We you broken. The brokenness in me was the broken mindset. That's what caused my broke state. My mind I had a broke fixation. I had a broke. My mind was broken. You see, I needed to get my mind. You manifest that money. You manifest that wealth. You manifest that health. You manifest that, and opportunity. You manifest those ideas. This is our we are the greatest creators that there is. It's demonstrated in everything we do. It's demonstrated in all the different music makers that we have. It's demonstrated in our in the arts, everything is in science, creativity, everything we do shows how great and how great we are at being creators. If we can create all these things, why can't we create a better life for ourselves? We can. We can. We should.
Well, let's see. We got a caller on the line. Let's see if Obsidian Copper knows the answer to that question. Obsidian Copper, how you doing tonight?
Hey, brother. Hey, what's your name?
Lisa.
Lisa. Oh, Lisa. Hey there, sis.
Hey.
Well, all I can say is pen is mightier than the sword. That's
Okay.
how I believe that God used a pen. At one point I did believe that God had a library. I mean, come on. He gave okay. Why do you think he gave us that book? I mean, it shows that I heard people say, well, books, that street is bigger than books. But if streets is bigger than books, okay, then why did you go to a church and a pastor gave you a book and he preach? Yeah, and he preach. But I noticed something. He starts to talk the audience away from the book and start manipulating just by talking about streets.
What do you
I'm
mean?
like,
Who are you talking about?
who am I talking about?
Yeah.
It's
Who's streets?
it's streets, man. You got a lot of folks big on streets, man. I'm not against streets, but it's just that, man. I'm like, no. It's just that people just don't be interested in certain things, man. I hate when people say, "Oh, well, I'm not interested in that." Every time when I speak about the American Indian, sometimes even when I speak about Jesus being a Negro and whatnot, but like, come on, man. You don't want to open up to truth, you know,
Right. Well, I
because
mean,
I'm
there's
the
there's
only.
a major shutdown on any kind of truth right now, because truth is gonna that's what's gonna free everything. That's what's gonna change everything is the truth. So that's why you see all these people trying to, oh, no, 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 no talking about race in school. No, they don't want any correction. They don't want any truth happening. But that's why we gotta
Spell.
stay. Baby, we got to stay on them. We got to get this truth out there. We got to get in those schools. We got to get this word out there. Forget these daggone people, or get the kids out of schools. I don't care. What or the other, but we really do have to reach these children, because the truth needs to be taught. And the other thing is, you have to understand that, everybody's not going to believe the Bible. The Bible, it's got a lot of crazy stuff in it. You can justify a lot of freaky, weird, sadistic things with the Bible. So
Amen.
a lot of these people that talk about the Bible never really read it. I can tell you that,
They,
because if
they
you really read
lied
the
to
Bible,
me.
you would know that a lot of sick ass shit happens in that Bible. And a lot of things you're like, what? He did what with his son and his daughter and this, and she was naked and this, and it's a lot of crazy stuff in that Bible. You
Too
cannot
many
take that
folks,
Bible literally. You cannot.
too many
You
folks even told me that they read the whole Bible. I'm like, if y'all really did read the Bible, first of all, okay, if y'all really did read the Bible, y'all would be totally different after the fact. I
No, it
mean,
will.
come on.
No, it's not going to change your life if you read the Bible. A lot of people read the Bible, especially if you're part of a study where you go through it chapter by chapter. If you have a Bible study, you're personally going through it chapter by
It's
chapter by
66
chapter.
books. It's
Basically,
66 books.
it take a
Just
few years. Yeah, you take you a few. But see, you study for a long time. Like as a child, I used to have a Bible study every week. You know what I mean? But me, I don't.
yeah.
But that's the whole thing. You become familiar and you learn a lot of things. But see, everybody didn't grow up like that. But But anyway, my whole point is this: the Bible, just like anything, is good for some things. You can't take it and just take it the whole thing literally. You really can't. But
Yeah,
but
it's
you know
mm-mm.
that a lot of the things in the Bible have prophetic credibility, and
Like
that's what
what?
I
Yeah.
Could you
that some
explain?
things
Could
are
you explain
prophetically
one of those
credible,
to us?
and some things have been said to be historically credible. But the thing about it is, you have to look at what vibrates with you. What vibrates with you? What I like about it is that the Jubilee of the Bible coincides with a lot of the history, the Mayan history. Okay, so that's what makes me
Huh,
like it.
okay, that's key.
Yeah, that's very key. It's very cool too. So, I mean, that is something that we need to also start looking into. The fact that our Mayan history actually
Is
coincides with Jubilee. So, this whole period of Jubilee is also something that we can actually understand as far as our Mayan history. So, we got more than
what
just the Bible.
what they've been well what
Mhm.
given the context you just put on here, uh I think they be writing historical events. When they be traversing throughout the Americas, they must have been whatever they be seeing, they put it in a book. See, that's the thing. That's how they got us. You know,
Well, I mean, this is the
whatever
thing.
they,
You can't. This is the thing. Who writes it? Men. You can't believe
yeah.
it because it's tainted by men. Some magical being didn't burn it into a rock, and we're reading a rock. Okay, we're reading paperwork that was printed by men who lie. So please, please keep
Yeah,
that in mind. That all this stuff is tainted by
I know,
millions of
I'm
men,
tainted because
very tainted by millions of men from all over the world. But this is the thing. The Jubilee coincides with the biblical, it's not just the biblical Shemitah. It is actually Mayan Shemitah. So it's called the biblical Shemitah Jubilee. That's the year. The year Jubilee begins in September and ends in September. It began in September of last year and it ends in September of this year. Every 7 years is a Shemitah. Okay, the Shemitah is something that is biblically or Hebraically based, but even more interesting than that is Mayan based. So that's the thing. So I mean, you have to understand that that kind of vibrates with us on an even different level. Let me see if I can kind of see. That's how you spell it. Y'all see it? Okay, so that is the Shemitah. The Shemitah. So they had it. It was in 2015, and we're doing the 7 years later. We got to 2021 to 2022. So now what? The Ukrainian war. All this stuff is part of um, the negative energy that's being hurled at us to keep us off our place in this world. If we don't see, this is the thing. How do you manifest your restoration? I feel like just like with everything else, you have to work towards it, at least mentally, at the very least, but also make good decisions. I mean, if you don't make good decisions and you're just doing dumb stuff with your money, then of course, like you're not gonna be able. You may be able to manifest it, but you're gonna lose it as fast as you get it, and it's like you never had it. So it's like, even with that, if you're manifesting that you're going to have abundance in your life, you're going to have to work with that. If you're manifesting that you're having restoration, you got to take the steps towards that restoration. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, this is a year that a lot of things are happening. So here we have tonight. Today is a new moon. Now people call us moon worshipers, whatever, so whatever. That's what they're going. That's what they're going. What's his name? Kevin Gills will say they're moon worshipers. You know, uh, moon worshiping. We don't worship the moon, but what we are, we're in line with nature. You know what I mean? We observe all things, all aspects of nature. Man, the planets, the stars, the sun is a star, and so we observe all that. We look at the soil, we look at the trees, we look at the water, we watch the animals. We observe all things in nature. That's the kind of people we are designed to be. It is us being out of step with all this that has caused us so much disconnect and just made us just confused and lost. So these lost tribes, you might say the lost tribes, the lostness is not a location. We're lost because we don't know our identity. We're lost because we don't know we've got disconnected and lost from nature. How about that?
Why do we always think we're characters in a book somebody else wrote? What is that? What kind of spell is that?
Like we talked about the fact that we have this worship of the God, of white everything, white gods, white founding fathers. All this terminology is ingrained in our subconscious, right? But I mean, people like to this is what I saw, an experiment they did, right? Of these kids. I was watching that this week where they told you these kids would had a dart board with a ball with it's got the Velcro and it sticks to the dart board. And he said whoever gets the most points on the dartboard with the ball, and they're gonna get a great surprise. And he left the room, and then these kids were cross. They had to stay behind the line, and they had to throw the ball backwards, and they were cheating. They were putting balls all over the daggone dartboard, all of it, doing all kinds of stuff. And then he told them there was an invisible little kid in the room in a chair, and that she was gonna be in there watching them. And the kids were like, they wouldn't cross the line. They stopped doing it. So what it was like a demonstration of that a lot of people need some kind of special god, sky god, or someone to be accountable to in order to actually be honest. These were white kids in the study, but they needed that in order to be honest, right? So there's and also, I mean, so there are people like you and I and the people in the chat who have character, who have ethics, who aren't gonna do certain things not because you fear a bolt of lightning coming on your ass, but because you just are gonna do what's right. That's just how you are. You know what I mean? You want to not bring negative energy into your world or into your life, and you don't want to do unto others what you don't want them doing to you. It's just a natural, like, let's keep it good kind of situation. There are people who don't have that. They don't have that kind of, they don't have those barometers. They don't have those natural self controls in them. There are people who need religion, or they would go completely bonkers. They would go completely wild. They go all the way off the rails all the time. They'll be total prostitutes, total drug addicts, total villains, and total daggone murderers. That's the way a lot of people are. They need something to tell them that, oh my God, I'm scared. I have an angry God in my life, and if the God gets angry, He's gonna get my ass. I gotta go to hell. And then there are people that need that. Do you get that? I mean, you might not get that here, Carrie, but you know that there are people that are like that, don't you?
But don't you have a say so in it? You know, and having, instead of having a book dictate to you.
But it's not. But see, it's not even a say so. These people need to know that somebody's bossing them. There are natural. Okay, let me put it like this: there are natural sheep. There are natural sheep.
Jack.
They're born to be those sheep, right?
Jack.
What you got there?
I just wanted to share this. Let me blow it up, because you just showed me something, and I just want the audience to see this.
Right.
Because we're not just not talking about nothing that doesn't matter.
Right.
What we're telling you, this shit matter, y'all. And you can, what the dude say, you moon worship?
Yeah, he says we're moon worshipers. That's what Kevin Gill says. Gillespie, he says we're moon worshipers.
So
coffee and kush.
Okay, I just want to show something, and I'm gonna go back and shut up. This is the definition of American. Now, this is Webster's dictionary. These are these Northern Europeans, these people from England and Ireland and Germany and all this. And this is American. What you can see how it's broken down is broken down to American. It's broken down to American.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you translate that, you're going to get rich soul, rich soil, soil rich, soul rich.
Mm-hmm.
Or, when how in the English language, how they'll take the I out, put a U in there. You know how they say world. But Lisa, could you do me one favor? And this is what I want everybody to see.
Right.
Could you hold up your wrist? Could you hold up your wrist with your look?
My copper band.
Yeah. You see how she blends in, how that blends into her? She's not black. None of that is nowhere near black. And this is what I'm saying. When people write stories and they allude to us in terms that they create or that's not you, it confuses the hell out of us. So, that's what I see. So, that's why I say, why do these people try to be characters? Don't they have a history or trajectory? Aren't they? When you say Jubilee, didn't their people hope for them to come? You know what I'm saying? They're much more than stories in a book. And we don't.
Yeah, but you got to. Yeah, but everything is not for everybody.
I hear you.
Some people aren't ever gonna understand. It's just too much for them to understand. They can understand Bible stories. Shoot, they was told them since they were babies. They can't understand when you say, "Well, you don't need to fear God because why? God will get mad at me." See what I'm saying? It's in there. It's all in there. It's all in.
Yeah.
And like I said, they need it. Now, I mean, I don't know if they had been raised in a different way. Would they not need it? They probably wouldn't, because a lot of the children that's being raised today are not being raised with God daddies in their mind and white God daddies. They're not being raised that way, and they still they still are logical. But see, those are smart kids. I don't know. I'm not around dumb kids. I don't know how that works. But I know that I'm around a lot of dumb adults at times. And yeah, I can tell you that those folks, they're folks that need that. They need that. And that's why going forward, as we organize as a people, you have to keep in mind. And so, like, okay, let me tell you in real terms. Like, okay, in this whole indigenous thing, the end game should be you get together with your family. You find out who your people are, right? What's the name of your people? You organize yourselves into a 503(c) or what have you as those people. You have affidavits, you have a constitution, right? You should also have yourself a tribal trust. In addition to that, you're going to start making yourself known in the community. You're going to do things in the community of the area that you're in. You're going to organize. Not, I don't do powwows. I do, festivals, or I do unity in the community stuff or whatever. You do something to, you do, you talk to people. You talk to your museum people, the librarians. You make sure that people know that you're a presence in the community, that you are not gone and dead, and that you exist. That's going to be the work you'll have to do if you repatriate your people, right? Which is the most powerful thing you can do, because that's the way that you can actually benefit forever from your status of who you are. Okay, so let's say you do that. So in my affidavit, it says that we actually have the right to get our people out of prison, right? If they've committed a nonviolent crime. So we were discussing this with my daughter and myself the other day, because we were like, we need more men, right? So we were talking about that, and we were like, so I said they're in prison, and I told them that after the summit this year, which was just past October, I was there by myself because, like an idiot, I forgot people to ask people to knock down my tables and help me put these heavy, heavy, heavy tables away before they left. And everybody was gone. It was just me in the daggone place, and I had all these heavy tables. And I was really suspicious because the police came out there, and I thought they were like harassing me because we had a very like crazy thing, and I was it's edgy because I do have a lawsuit, and there's a lot of racist people that are mad, and so I didn't know what was going on with the police being out there. So I thought it was something bad. I started to take pictures of them and stuff, videotape it. And turned out that the sister and brother came out, and they were like, you need some help. And I was like, help? Sure. So they had two other guys jump out the back, and they didn't have on orange jumpsuits, so I didn't know. They just had on like they didn't have street clothes on, but they just had on like khakis and like the reflective stuff for the road work. So I didn't know. And then after I was talking to them for a minute, I realized they were inmates, right? And so I started to talk to him all about, us being American Indians. And I told him about the Acamax. I was like, look, I told him what I've been doing. I told him how I had the summit here and how, these are the Acamac Indians. And then he looked on the board because I have a huge, huge, huge tree of everybody's names, that not everybody's, but a whole lot of names that have Acamac lineage, and whether they were on the reservation or off the reservation. Like I color coded it that way. And then I had people write in if they said, yeah, I know where I'm that. Like if they came to the summit, they wrote their names in on a leaf or whatever. Okay, so these inmates were like, wait a minute, I got this in my family. I'm this, I'm that. They're looking at all the tree. They're finding like 5 and 6 names apiece. And I'm like, yeah, this is the thing. I said, yeah, you're acting like Indian. We have the right to take, to self-govern. I said, we have the right. We have the right to get our people out of jail. We can do this. You can prevent your people from going to jail, and you can get your people out of jail. We're not at that step yet, but baby, we're gonna do it. There is the greatest power we had, and there's a brother that did Real Nagas did a great video about what did he say? It was property. It was called, oh God, what did Real Nagas do? It was about 40 acres, 40 acres and a fool. It's called 40 Acres and a Fool. He really gets into slavery and what it was. And then he talks about the Dred Scott case, which is really powerful, because in the Dred Scott case, they told that Negro, they were like, look, if you had told us you was an Indian, this would be a whole nother deal. But the fact that you're an African American or whatever he said, he didn't say he was an Indian. So he didn't have any rights. So that's the thing. As long as you are whatever else, Black, Negro, African American, FBA, ADOS, freedmen, you are not going to get remedy. He would have had remedy. They told us And in that court case, this is your mechanism to be free. That was a long time ago, y'all. That was like in 1870 or something. So, I mean, the fact that that was that long ago, no, it had to be even older than that because that was Dred Scott, had to be like 1850 or something. Anyway, whatever Dred Scott was, y'all know, y'all can look it up. But basically, the fact that we have all these educators and boule people who are still putting us under this whole fog of ignorance and keeping us oppressed because they're getting a check. See, this is the thing. We have all these people who are, their status is changed. They are considered elite. They have a changed status. They don't need no remedy. So they don't care about us getting remedy. Their money's good, their status good. They don't care about us having any remedy. And your status may be good and your money may be good now. I mean, this is what I'm gonna tell you this. A lot of people ain't gonna take action because they're comfortable. There's a video that they put out that they said that there are more African American, so-called or black, I think they use the term black millionaires now, double the millionaires in the past. The number of millionaires that are black and not just African have doubled in the past 25 years.
Dred Scott was in the 1840s.
1840, that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
That long ago. That's even before really the Trail of Tears really kicked off. So Dred Scott, they told him, man, they gave us the blueprint with that. Your remedy is with you being an Indian. If you're not an Indian, you're a slave. And it's gonna be it's still true. If you're not an Indian, you're a slave. That's how you're going to get. And this is the thing. And what I was talking about is being comfortable. The black rich, a lot of people are comfortable. I just saw a dad on YouTube about this chick that took her stimulus money, so-called, and made it into made a seven-figure income out of a $1,200 stimulus check. Cool beans. People are getting, the sisters and brothers are making money. But what does that do? You get content. And you think about you and your immediate, descendants. You figure, I'm good. The kids will be okay. They're good. I got, insurance. I got money saved up. They're going to get everything I got. They're good. And that's where your vision stops. It ends. You don't think beyond that. You don't think about the fact that everything that they're doing now, they're going to continue heaping on your people after you're gone. And that money's going to be worn out by that third the generation that your great grandkids is going to be going. It's going to be a whole different thing. And they won't have an identity to save them. And they won't have enough money to save them. Because we see it in genealogy. People had money. I come from people that was doing shit. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? People had land. People had money. They had status. Where'd it go? So this stuff can go. But if you actually repatriate yourself, that's the most powerful thing. And it's going to last for eternity because that's something that you'll pass on and on and on. There are laws that say white Indians have gotten 300,000 acres of land restored to them. Millions of dollars worth of things. But you're sitting here and not acting and listening to these people who got you, even our indigenous people, got folks talking in circles, fighting with each other. Just causing a lot of negativity back and forth. We got to get loose of the drama. We can't be listening to Angry Birds and daggone and smoking Aborigines. We can't listen to that. Aborigines, they're looking for smoke. We can't do it. We have to rise above it because this is our opportunity. They know this. That's why These globalists, these daggone elite, these daggone global predators, these global predators are trying so hard to oppress us and to distract us and to kill us. This year, especially, they know. They know. So that's why it's so important that we vibrate high. That's why we cannot fall for the banana in the tailpipe and listen to daggone this dumb stuff with this daggone Will Smith. No one can care about that boy. That he acts like a child, and this is a fake thing. They're actors. They cry on cue. All of them. They cry on cue. We cannot be disturbed, deterred from what we're doing. Don't care about all these other people. If a more want to be a more, fuck them. If somebody want to be a Hebrew Israelite and dress bad, let them dress bad. I mean, whatever these people want to do, let them do it. Let them do it. But as for me and mine, you need to teach. You need to be teaching each one. You need to spend your weekend calling random cousins. You need to spend your weekend doing the research just deep enough, far enough along where you can say, and then they say, okay, Lisa, what if I have a lot of different, maybe I have two or three two tribes at least. My dad's side, my mom's side, all my grandparents are different Indians. Maybe you got 4 different Indians from based upon your grandparents. I don't know, tribes. Who vibrates the most with you? Who's trying to contact you? Who wants to be found? Because the ones that don't want to be found, they make it real hard. That's the one that you're gonna organize after. And don't get in your feelings about I don't really like my. I had somebody they were like, I don't really care for my mama. Well, what can I say? This is what I gotta tell you about that. This person avoided even doing the genealogy or looking into it, where he had a lot of information and he didn't want to do it because he really didn't like his mama. And I was like, I'm really like this. Your mama's the vessel you come through. You come from a whole lot of people who are connected to a whole lot of other people. And you got a whole lot of relatives that you don't know yet. And odds are you vibrate really well with those people. And those people are really like you. But you're avoiding it because whatever little history, whatever little fallout you had with your mama, which is probably just one major incident or two, and you can't get it out of your system. Well, first of all, sister, brother, this was a brother. He needs to heal that. He needs to heal that. Because we can't bring all this trauma and pain into this next level. We can't bring it into the next level. And we are on some next level stuff. We are doing next level things right here. But we have to behave like next level people. And a lot of that involves forgiveness. You got to clean your slate. It's like you take a cleansing, you do a cleanse, a bowel cleanse, whatever. That's a soul cleanse. Forgiveness is a soul cleanse. Check. Forgiveness is a soul cleanse. It's the best way to cleanse your soul. So carrying all this, oh, he touched me. This one did this. That one said this. Oh, he wished my shoot. You gotta let it go. People do a lot of things, man. A lot of horrible things. But we have the power to let that go. And that's the greater power. That's the greater power. And this is a time of Jubilee. You're not going to be able to manifest everything like you need to if you still got all these chains on you, got all these weights on you, got all this baggage, got all this mud, muck, and crap in you. You got to get rid of it. Got to get rid of it. And you will see a difference. I mean, you don't have to be like, love you, but you just got to be like, you know what? That's you. And I especially y'all, don't ever be mad at nobody about no money. I'm going to tell you right now, Negroes, do not be mad about anybody over money. That is ridiculous. Because you know, when you lent it to them, they wasn't going to give it back. You knew that. You knew it. You knew it. You should never give nothing that you should never loan nothing that you're not just giving. You just ought to have in your mind, I'm giving this away. And if you can't afford to give it away, don't give it. Just say I can't afford it. Or give them half or give them a fraction. I don't know. But only give what you can give comfortably. But I really say this. I'm going to tell you what I really say. I say give till it kind of hurts a little bit. Because it does something to open up things for you in the universe. When you're just like, oh, why'd I give her that much? Damn. You know, when you give that much, it hurts. But it does what it does for you in the universe is awesome. It's awesome.
Could you
Because
talk about our connection, with that side? Because I know we just look, we pay attention to things we see and we really don't think about what we need to do. Could you really explain how our connection to that side is?
to the side of, what do you mean?
Where you can, when you
How to be
manifest
able
it.
to do this?
Right.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's very, yeah, we this is the thing. Like we make these things happen. And that is my demonstration of it. It's like, okay, so this is what we think. I'm not gonna scratch that, but it's so funny because I was also studying all the different towns that my people, because this was 2017. I was studying all the different towns that are nearby. That I was doing notes. But anyway, I'm not gonna crunch that up. But let me crunch something up. Okay. Yeah, there's a hat. Okay, so let's see this hat. See, I'm just gripping it. We feel like if we hold on to it, nobody can take it from us. Nobody. But you can't grab money either if you're grabbing or holding on to that hat that you want to hold on to so tight. You can't receive anything because I got my hand twisted around this hat. I don't want nobody to have. I cannot open up to anything. Anything. And that's the thing. We think that by holding on to our little things, that's how we win in the world. There's a lot of people that got banks of money. They tight with their money. They don't want to spend it. They don't want to share it. They don't want to give it. They don't want nobody to know they got it. And it does nothing for them.
What's that asshole attitude they have?
They feel like by keeping it, that's how they keep it. And they see, you know what? Let me tell you something, y'all. The European teaches you that. These daggone globalists kind of teach you that. Keep your money, hoard it up, make it grow. They teach that, right? They don't teach you that if you sow into your neighbor, if your neighbor's son, you help them with the daggone getting a little online business, or you help them daggone with something they're baking hats or something, or making shoes. Oh, you making shoes? You working with leather, and you give them leather. You give them money to get the leather. They don't tell you that if you sow your money and give it out, that's how you really grow. They tell you to hold on to it. Put it out, put it up, let it watch it grow, and give it to us, and we'll hold it for you, and you can let it grow. They think and you believe that. I'm gonna go invest in this stock, and I'm gonna do all this. What the hell? You should be sowing into people. You should be putting your money out there and watching it grow. The wealth you will have, because you're building up your community. You're building up the world. But instead, we told to put it in a penny bank from the time we're kids. And put it in your penny bank, put it in, and hold on to it. And then you know, and then have it for a rainy day. How many people die and they ain't touched that money, did nothing with that money, and then they families clawing each other to death for that little bit of damn money that they have left over. Literally just wanting to tear each other apart over that the coins that they have squirreled away. They could have been making things happen that would be evident to this day and beyond. Helping somebody get through, go train, give them money so they could train for a special thing. I mean, where they want to learn something or a special trade or even an experience they need to have so they can bring back information to others and train and teach them. You can sow into others and do so much more. But we're so tight, and we
Yeah.
think that's going to keep it. But that's not the way nature works. Nature don't work like that. Nature shares, it releases, nature cooperates, nature builds together. If you was building a house, I wouldn't say, I got all my stones here, my bricks here. I ain't letting them know I got it there. No. You'd be like, look, I got bricks, I'm bringing them over. And then when I go to build mine, everybody's going to work together and build on mine. We worked as a unit. You need it done, I got you. I got you. See, let me talk about the movie Oklahoma. I'm so stupid. Let me talk about that real quick. I like musicals. I know a lot of people don't, but I like musicals, and Oklahoma is a musical, and they have in it, or maybe I'm getting my movies mixed up, which I am. No, it's I think it's Seven Daughters or for Seven Sons. That's the one. One of them daggone musicals. They have a barn raising thing. A lot of these old musicals in the West, barn raising. And you would think that was them because that's what they portray. Oh, we raising a barn together and we work together all day. No, they learned that from us. Everything that we see that is American is us. Even especially when it's not us being portrayed doing it. The barn raising, the fact that they all came together and everybody helped physically put the barn together. They make tea, make sandwiches, feed the men. The women was helping build things, make things for the house, sew things, and the guys were raising the roof and raising the daggone sides to the walls. And you had a whole barn built in a day or so. That's what we did. We worked like that. If you look at it, very rarely do they work like that even today. But that's what we used to do before we got in our minds that the better neighborhoods over there where they at, and the schools that are better where they're at. And we don't need to be sharing with these niggas because they just gonna try to take our stuff. Martin Luther King lived in a neighborhood. If anybody is in Atlanta or has visited Atlanta and gone to the site of where his house was, he lived in a mansion pretty much by the standards of that time. It was a very wealthy house. But the wealthy house that he grew up in, the backyard of that house was and across the street from the house were those shotgun houses where people were not doing as well at all. There is something that happens to a person, even if you're wealthy, when you stay in your community and are able to see people that live in a different manner than you do. He grew up and he played with these kids, but he had a sense of probably he valued what he had, right? Because he was like, oh, thanks. I'm glad we have this. And the other thing that happened by him living like that was other people got to see, shoot, if Dr. King can live like that, we can do that too. Right in your backyard. Your goals of what you can do in life is right there in 4D. Right?
Right.
So that is a benefit to the community. Also, your brightest people are staying in the schools, in the elementary schools, bringing the level of education up. So when we have this flight that we do, where we want to build our mansion over there with the white folks, and we want to have our schools over there with the white people and the Asian people, that kills our communities. We do it voluntarily. Nobody's making us do that. Nobody's forcing that on us. Can't blame that on anybody but ourselves.
Could you imagine all the land we walked away from years ago just sitting up rotten, and we're being gentrified in all these cities, and we don't have enough sense to go back and build those cities up because they live.
I mean, we have all kinds of communities that are these little dead, little sleepy towns that need rejuvenation. They need us to go back. You see, you know why? Because we act like we can't manifest anything. See, we see these little slow towns, and all of a sudden we lose our imagination. Why is that? You could build a whole fly movie theater made out of a dome structure. It's like a dome movie theater where it's like a circular kind of thing, and you could do anything because you could make it yourself. You could make any fly thing you wanted to on your own land. If you could get your people as a family to come together as your nation that you are. I got my plans for the park that I'm suing for. We already have a indigenous architect that is making plans for our dome, where we're going to have amphitheater. We're going to have a place where we can to honor our ancestors. We're going to have all kinds of concession and museum, and and we're going to have all kinds of indigenous places where people can stay the night. We're gonna have tree houses, and we're gonna have different types of structures. Some will be stone, some will be tree houses, some will be biospheres. We're gonna have all kinds of different structures for you to get your indigenous spirit. We're gonna have sweat lodges, and um, just it's gonna be an indigenous experience. And I'm just telling you. And so, but this is the thing. You have to. I mean, I haven't won any case. Why am I spending money for a architect, and I haven't won the case yet, right? Why would you say that, right? Because I know. Because I know this is a done data. I know this. So I know that's why you already have to put your money out and be ready. Because I know this thing is happening. So that's why I got an architect already working on this. And they got the grounds all what kind of plants we're going to have an indigenous healing garden, and how it's already planned out how that's going to look. That's the thing. You have to make real things happen. It starts here.
And
It
like
starts here.
and like you say, we lose our imagination. What's the deal with that? Our imagination. We don't imaginate no more. What is that?
Right. She told me I'm talking about seven brothers. Why don't we have an imagination when it comes to the fact that we can't see that these little sleepy towns are it's like a palette. We can just paint any picture you want on it. We can make anything happen we need to happen. That's the thing. We need to be aware of that. We need to believe in that. Why don't we believe in ourselves anymore? Why are we so why is it so scary to dream to not even a dream, to manifest what we're supposed to manifest? We're supposed to manifest these things. We're supposed to make these things happen. That's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be talking to our families. And let me tell you something what happens. Because I'm going to tell you, I'm going to answer some questions right now. My family they didn't want to hear all this. Oh, they're stuck in being daggone African American. They're stuck on being black. Get on Facebook. Once you start identifying, going through these families and looking at these census books, census lists, and you're going to see the names of the people that live in the area, right? You're going to get to know these surnames that are indigenous to the area along with yours. You're going to have new names because you're going to have names from your family tree that are connected to you also. You're going to look for those surnames on Facebook. That's how I started my Facebook groups on Facebook, because I started looking for Acamax. I was actively looking. I'm not trying to have everybody that's an Acamac be an Acamac. I want everybody that's an Acamac to be an Acamac. So have I reached out for people with their surnames and their cousins. I even reached out to people if they had cousins, people that they have a lot of connection to with the surname that are Accomack. See, just because your name has an Accomack name don't make you Accomack. Because see, I was married, I was a Gregory. So if you saw me, you would think, oh, she's not a Accomack, she's a Gregory. But no, I'm an Accomack because that's what I was raised. My dad, I mean, that's my maiden name. See, so you can't go by that. You can't go by what is your last name, right? So you got to go by who they connected to. Well, I have this one. That's this that name. I'm related to Fitchets. I'm related to Smiths. I'm related to you know uh, you know uh, 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 Bagwells, different names that are connecting me, to samples that connect me to the tribe. Okay, so that's the thing. You're having that last name does not make you that. It is your bloodline. It's those other names that really make you that. So you got to go look. You got to search, and you'll start finding. And the other thing I did was I joined. A lot of people organized their family reunions on Facebook, and they do it by having like the Smith family group or the Jones family group or the this family group. We have a Wilson family, a Williams family group, and we have a House family group. So with the House family group, that was also a mechanism for me to just get information out to them, and that I share with the Accomack group, and I just pulled everybody from that group into my Accomack group. Also, there are people that are not my family, like maybe let's see, there are people that are related to that are Accomacs that aren't me. I'm gonna relate to a lot of Accomacs, so it's hard for me to find a good name that's not okay. Custis. I'm not a Custis. So Custises may have a family group, right? And I would just invite myself or try to become a member of that group, and then I would start introducing that information to you. Hey, did you know that the Indians, the Kingiskin, the Virginia, this and that? I do a little post in the group. You know what I mean? A little gentle one, because it's hard for folks. You know what I mean? And if you don't get kicked out of there, then you might do another one. And then and that helps you get to know other people of your lineage and include them into to your repatriation of your people, right? A lot of people that have come to the summit and who are now very close to us are not our cousins. They're kin. They just happen to be Accomack. Like most of the people that help me vibe and give me information are people that I found out they were Accomacks because I reached out to them through even through Clubhouse. I found a couple of Accomacks on there. But I put the information out there, and people that and what happens. The magical thing is this: you meet people that are like you, who already understand that they're indigenous, and they're your kin, and that becomes your war. They become your warriors. They become your the folks that are like as excited about all the work you're doing as you. They're the people that's gonna go out there and call the university and say, "Hey, why are we paying for on tuition? You're on our land." Your kin will do that. Your kin are gonna help you get rights. Your kin you're gonna say, "Look, y'all call this place," and then you'll have like 10 people or at least 10 people calling. Call this one. Let's go protest PNC, and then you got a few people going out showing up to the PNC. These people are not people I grew up with. These people are not the cousins that I used to play with. They are not the people that I've known all my life. These are piece of people that I've recently connected with, who are my kin, because you repatriated your people. That's what you're gonna find. You're gonna find family that have more in common with you than your own family, but yet they are your kin. That's the thing that's gonna happen.
So how do we get all these people to help manifest what we want to see go on in Jubilee?
Well, this is the thing. All right. First of all, like I said, we got to vibrate positive. Positive vibrations are. Did I just lose you?
Yeah, we can still hear you. There you go.
Okay. Positive vibrations are essential. And the other thing that we need to do is we have to, and so in doing that, what I mean is, smile. I mean, laugh. I mean, you got to feed your soul, feed your spirit, dance, sing, enjoy yourself. You know what I mean? Uh, do things that really enhance the positive thing in your life. Also, turn your frown upside down on a regular basis. And what I mean by that is this: a lot of times we let things affect us that we shouldn't allow to affect us, right? Like people do dumb stuff and we let it just rock us. I mean, you might even get fired and you see it as a negative, like I have, and you might see it as, oh, that's real messed up. Why did they do that? I wasn't at fault. I didn't do nothing wrong, whatever. But you got to look at it. The ancestors are doing things. You don't know what that is about. You don't know what you got away from. You don't know what really was going down. You don't know what really, you were saved from. You don't know what you were brought to. Maybe you're being out of that place at that time. You got stuff that you're doing that's way more important than that at this time. You're available. You're reconnecting things that you need to reconnect. You're being present for people that need you that you didn't really know that they needed you like that. It could be as simple as that. But you got to twist it. You got to understand, see the positive out of everything, every single situation, because you can't let this place turn you down. You can't let it take your vibrations from being up. You got to keep yourself at a high vibrating level. So that requires that you look at things in a different way. And when you look at things in a different way, you're going to start feeling in a different way. That I can guarantee. The other thing is, I want you to get outside, get your air, and go outside and start a fire. And let me tell you this: I was in a hotel. You can start fire anywhere. Fire is it it's a it generates positive spirits. It gives you it cleanses. Fire is cleansing. I'll say it like that. And even when I was in a hotel room, I went to Walmart. I got a pot. You know how you get a cake dish, a circular cake dish. I got a circular cake dish. I got a couple of those little loggy things, little tiny ones, fire starters. And I went out and I got a bottle of water. And I went outside on the little grass next to the curb in the hotel. And I started a little fire at night and just was just there going, just talking to the ancestors and just looking at the stars and like that. Any place you can do it and grow. Now actually the time of Jubilee, or the time for not even a Jubilee, but this time, even for 7 years, they were supposed to the Simita. You're supposed to like not do agriculture. That's part of their practice. But like, uh this is the thing. So basically, I encourage you to plant seeds though, because part of this new birth and reset is planting seeds. So plant your seeds, do that. That's why they have a lot of symbolic stuff like eggs and seeds, and and so also make that part of your life, like eating the fresh foliage, having your seeds, having you know uh, uh, um, even legumes and different things that are going to be cleansing in more ways than one. During this time, it's important to drink plenty of good filtered water that's healthy for you. A great pH is nice, all of that. In addition to that, you need to make sure that you are um, getting, like I said, the good outside time, grounding yourself, digging your feet into some dirt. Oh, just move your feet into dirt or sand and getting your feet in there. It's a marvelous thing. Just it doesn't matter if it's a short amount of time, just do it. Spend your lunches outside. You don't have to be inside to have lunch. Have lunch outside. I would recommend you do it anytime. When I was working in Florida, it would rain all the time. If it was drizzling, I still go outside. I go outside and sit anyway, because I just want to, especially being confined in a hospital with all that crap I had to wear. I had to get outside, and it was very important that I got my outside time, whether it was in the hotel outside, and I would get it at work. I tried to get it anywhere I could. Get that fresh air, get that sunshine on your skin, even raindrops on your skin. I remember we were leaving, and I was like, they were avoiding. I'm like, the raindrops great. I want to feel that rain. I need that. That's great. Feel the raindrops on your skin. Do that. And also respect and watch the animals. If you don't have a pet, I would suggest you have like a goldfish, at least something. But chickens are amazing. I must say again, they're funny and they're amazing. But let me tell you something. That whole Easter thing, this whole time of year, this is all in line with nature, because my geese and my duck mated, and they have these weird goose duck eggs. And this is the time of year when they have their eggs hatch, like in April. So they don't want you touching their eggs. They're very aggressive. The male, I think, is sitting on the eggs with his big old booty, and the female is guarding. It's very weird. But I mean, they are very defensive. They want to make sure these babies make it. I could not find any documented evidence that these goose eggs babies can actually exist. They said biologically they actually do work. They can, everything fits, and they can make babies, but they hadn't seen them actually do it in nature, or in captivity. So we'll see. I'll let you keep you posted. But I mean, the thing about it, like I said, it's very good to watch nature, very good to actually get your hands for nature. And there's something about caring for these animals that I always feel better when I'm like, I fed them, and I've watered them, and I've, put new bedding in their cage. It's like I'm giving back to nature. I don't know if that makes sense to y'all, but that's what it does for me when I'm like, making things right with those little chickens and those geese. But this is it. So with that also, I will also say the people in your life that bring you joy, like those aspects of your life and those people that bring you joy, focus on that, and focus on spending time with those people that do that for you, and just don't give any thought to anybody who doesn't. They don't deserve your time and your mind. They don't deserve it. Don't get yourself all whipped up about traffic or all those little things, because all that's taking away from your vibration. We're going to keep our vibrations high. We're about today going to make the most out of this year. So what I'm saying to you guys is the stuff that I'm telling you about, the steps you need to take to build and repatriate yourself as a people. You need to be doing it, because what you work on this year is going to soar. Everything you do is going to work. Everything that you want is going to happen. Everything that you imagine, you're going to get. So that's why you got to be thinking about what you really want. And you better not be focusing on negative stuff. Don't be thinking, I always be the man and they always trash, because that's all you're going to get. You thinking about it. Stop thinking about things like that. You got to think about, man, that man, I'm gonna get a man. He gonna be everything that I want. He gonna have everything that I could possibly make me. Just everything I need. Think about that. Do not think about this one ain't this and that one. How is this and this? No, don't get yourself into that. And anybody who's speaking that, shut them off. Literally shut them off, because this is the time when you gotta be on. You gotta have your vision just laser sharp on what you want to manifest, because that's what we're doing this year. We are manifesting abundance. We are manifesting love. We are manifesting land. We're manifesting beautiful houses. We're manifesting health, tremendous health and fitness. We're manifesting all of that. All of that. We're manifesting it. And we're manifesting it together. That's right. That's right. When our frequencies have to be extremely high. And we can't afford to let anybody detract from, not no Will Smith, not no YouTubers talking crazy. We don't have time for that. We're doing big things. We are making big things happen, and we're going to ride the energy wave that is happening right now. Now we're going to ride it, we're going to enhance it. We're going to enhance it. We're going to make what's happening stronger. We're going to make things happen that they're going to be like, daggone it, this is what we did want to happen. This is what we didn't want to happen. We didn't want them to know that they can do this stuff. But I'm letting you know you can do this stuff. And I'm letting you know that I'm here. If you need to have an answer, I ain't holding back. But let me tell you, you got to do the work. Don't think I'm going to hand over the keys to the kingdom and you ain't done the work to actually be at that place. When you're at the place where I can come in and give you a little bit of help or information, I'm there for everybody who's about doing the real right thing. But if you're just trying to be looky-loosey and you want some info before you're ready for it, no, son, not happening.
So how do they get in touch with you, Lisa, when they get to that point?
When they get to that point, the best way to get in touch with me is through the Acamac website. It gives me an alert on my phone, goes directly to me, and I'll respond to it. Don't be surprised if I tell you that. I'm very honest. Like if you're not ready and you're not at that point, you're not at that point. You got work to do. But that work can be easily done. That work can be easily done. You can do it. You guys are brilliant. You can do whatever you want to do.
So you see why everybody comes over here and wants to be you.
No, they don't want to be me.
No. But I don't mean that. I mean, they want to be like you. They rather sound like you than from the women in their own country.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean that I find that disturbing, but that's true. Yeah. We'll talk about those in. Yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit more about some of the immigration stuff, later on. But yeah.
Well, that's why the immigrants come over so they can get next to you. They get in your community so they can get your money. They imitate you on damn near everything.
Right. And then we give our money to them. This is the thing. This is what one of the website that I'm looking at is called cosmicconvergence.org. And they said that there are two different energies. There's the caretakers and there's the takers. and there's no better way to describe us as American Indians than caretakers. We're caretakers for everybody but each other.
Got to pick it up, y'all.
We got to start being caretakers for each other. We got to start, this is the thing. This is the thing. My family moved from the projects, the Bronx, to rural New Jersey, right? We got land from an indigenous woman who was a farmer, and her husband was a drunk. She ran a farm. She had all these guys working for her, and we got land for her because a cousin was kind enough to tell my daddy about this woman who could sell us some land for the house. So that's how we end up in the rural parts of New Jersey. But I'm gonna tell you, so I don't have this, so this is the thing. I didn't grow up around a lot of us. So when I came to Decatur, I was like, Georgia, I was like, and I feel this thing. I love seeing me. And I love the crackheads. I love the dude begging at the pump when it's nighttime and ain't got no damn business bothering me after midnight at the pump. But then again, maybe I had no bad business being at the pump after midnight. That's another way you can look at it. But anyway, there's two ways to look at that. And I don't advise you go to the pump after midnight in Decatur. And I will say that. Yeah, do plan your life better. But me, I'm always doing, crazy ratchet things. So, even the brothers that come up to you with, begging for stuff after midnight, I love it. I love seeing us in all forms of us. I love the petty homeowners association people out here that harass me about the freaking weeds in my yard. When it's just it's just April 1st. Suckers, it rained 3 days out of the week. You harassing me already? It's just April 1st. It was only the 30th. The day going 20. Anyway, this is what I'm saying. like I said, I love every aspect of our people. I love the fact, I just love seeing us. I love being with us. And I think we all need to have that kind of appreciation that we love our culture. And I also say get yourself a culture vacation this year. Your first culture vacation is to go to the homeland of one of your grandparents. Go to that town. Don't be going to Bermuda, or go to the homeland of your people.
I'm going on a cruise, cuz.
No, save your cruise money and get yourself an Airbnb or something outside in near the town of your ancestors. You can go to the courthouse. You can go to the library. You go in the library, start looking in different books. You might find information about your own people. Go to the courthouse. You definitely gonna find the records. Go to the graveyards and see the tombstones with your family names on them at those churches. You make a field day, then do little fun outings. If they got like a little funny little, you know, exhibit or something somewhere, maybe they got a boat ride or pony rides, you can go through the woods or different stuff. Do an activity where you get to know the homeland of your people. That should be the goal for this Jubilee. Making your family, having a family reunion. That should be number one. This year, you need to have a reunion. I don't care what. You need to put it together, get it together. A reunion. Rent one house somewhere and just have people come bring food. That's it. I don't care. It don't got to have special t-shirt. I know y'all like t-shirts. It don't take that long to get that done. If you gotta have t-shirts, get your t-shirts. But then just get a reunion done this year and go to where your homeland is of at least one of your grandparents. Do that this year.
Well, Lisa, another night is come and gone.
Yes,
Don't you bring the fire, y'all? Don't you like watching her speak? So
yes.
these are very important points that she's putting out. Get with your family. Find out where your family's from. Go to where they're from. All these little towns got hotels and motels near. Go to these hometowns and pay reverence to you.
Exactly. Exactly.
Lisa,
Build that connection with your grandkids, your kids, and your kin. Like build that. And only also when you go to these towns, stop and talk to some of the people, especially the old people. You see an old person outside, they wave to you. Stop. Stop and say, hey, what's your last name? My name's this. My people used to live out here. Their last name was that. You probably find a family member, or find out somebody who might have known your grandparents or your people.
it's that simple, y'all. Well, Lisa, thank you. We're going to end it here and can't wait to see you next week.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Chad.
Okay, you guys have a good night. We'll see you soon. Okay, peace.